Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list updates. Today's date is Monday, May the 13th of 2024. So this will have covered the week of May the 6th through the 12th of 2024. So this was not a particularly productive week in terms of trophies because I was very busy with my family being here for both my mom's birthday and Mother's Day. But other than that, I mean, it was still a good week. It was great, spending time with family. That's always been important to me. And it was a good time. We got some good meals, got to do some walking around like downtown areas and such, which was nice because the weather was super nice this weekend. So yeah, it was a good time. But in terms of trophies, not a whole lot happened in the past week, just working on two different games. So I did not get the chance to play any of Walking Dead or Star Wars Battlefront. I really just need to sit down for a couple of days and finish off Battlefront because I mean, it's really quite short, and it would be kind of nice to get rid of the PS4 version on my console just so that I can have more console space for the PS5 version and all the other stuff out there. But for the Fallout 76 guide, that guide is coming along again pretty well. I always give updates on it. He doesn't have too much more on his portions of it, and I think all I have left are the pit stuff, which will take a couple of days to do, and the brewing update, and maybe the Pioneer Scouts as well. And then it'll be done. So like I said, hopefully by the end of May, we'll have that big walkthrough out. I know it's a little bit later than some people might have liked with the Fallout TV show now being well over a month old. But hey, things happen, you get busy. So in terms of trophy progress this week, the first game I worked on was Fallout 4. As you can see, there has been some DLC progress as well as some base game progress. So looking back at the base game, in the past week, I've gotten not too many trophies from the base game. So from what's left in here, this is a story-related trophy that we will get upon finishing our Brotherhood of Steel playthrough. These three trophies are all part of the Institute playthrough, which will be done a little bit later. I have multiple backup saves made for that. And then these are both Brotherhood of Steel. Blind Betrayal is actually the next quest in the Brotherhood of Steel quest line, then Ad Victorium is shortly after that. And then you have two for the Railroad, which from what I remember and have looked at, you can apparently do a lot of the Railroad quests while you're working on the Institute quest line, or sort of do them together, which is pretty nice. I do sort of remember that from the PS4 version, though I think I actually ended up doing 4 separate playthroughs the first time through just to, experience everything. Then, of course, we have Benevolent Leader. Not looking forward to this one, even though there are supposedly easier methods, and I need to look up what the current easiest method is because it has been so long since I did this trophy on the PS4 version. I have completed 10 different side quests. Some of the DLC quests actually count for this, which is interesting, so very easy trophy there. I have maybe 10 to 15 miscellaneous objectives done, but of course the easy way to do this is to just keep using Vertibird signal grenades to call in a Brotherhood of Steel Vertibird, take it somewhere, get out, and then rinse and repeat over and over again until the trophy unlocks. It's very boring, but it's quite easy. Then hacking 50 terminals. I'm surprised I haven't done this yet. I must be at 48 or 49 or something. I've got to be close by now. Mods made, I'm probably over halfway through this, probably at 30 to 40 of them total. This one, I don't entirely know exactly which things are counting for this one, even though I'm clearly, I don't really know why that one hasn't unlocked yet because I've been crafting plenty of things within settlements, so I know that it's not the settlement items, but I'm not entirely sure what else it would be if it's just stuff from workbenches and stuff, including mods. I don't entirely know. I need to go back and actually check the original guide for that one and see exactly what that one requires. Okay, so that trophy is for crafting 100 items on either a chemistry or cooking or armor or weapons workbench. So that's actually not that hard. It just says, according to our old guide, we just want to craft drugs. That's probably going to get this video demonetized or something, but that's the plan for that one apparently, so I should be able to knock that one out pretty quickly. The maximum relationship level with the companion, I've got to be getting pretty close on this with Paladin Dance. I'd be surprised if I'm not. Yeah, I would think I got to be extremely close on Paladin Dance by now. I can't be far off at this point. So then play a holotape game. I'm surprised I haven't done that one yet because that one's really easy and I have several ready. The giant creatures, I've probably killed 1 or 2 so far. I'm not entirely sure what counts in this game because I think it's different from the ones that count in Fallout 76. I know that we killed the Mirelurk Queen during the Minuteman quest line, but that's the only one I know for a fact that I've killed. So then we have reading 20 magazines. I'm pretty close on this one. I've probably read like 15-ish. Then this is, of course, what I'm saving for last. This one I am getting pretty close to being done with. I'm sure I have like 250 by now. And then a touchdown, that is for getting hit by a mini nuke, or I think blowing yourself up with a mini nuke also counts for that. I'm shocked that I haven't gotten this one yet, given how common it is. Then collect all the bobbleheads. I found like 3 so far, but nothing really difficult about that. Just requires you to look up a collectible guide for where they all are. And then just reaching level 50. I'm like a level 36 or 37 right now. And then an unmissable story-related trophy upon finishing the game for your first time. So then we have the Automatron DLC. I 100%ed this DLC over the past week. So you have 3 trophies related to the 3 new story missions for the DLC, which are all pretty straightforward. The final one's a little bit tough because you have to survive a pretty big onslaught of robots, but otherwise it's nothing too difficult. Then you have to unlock 10 robot mods and build 10 of them. The unlocking, I think, is actually unmissable because I think that you end up unlocking all of them upon completing the Restoring Order quest, so I don't think this one's actually missable, but a lot of people unlock it before that, and it looks like I was one of those that unlocked it earlier. Because if you just scavenge random mods from the robots that you kill throughout the DLC, you should easily get enough before you're done. And then you just have to go build 10 of them at a robot workbench, which you're going to have to build several anyway just to beat the story of this. So you can just keep customizing either Ada or the other robot that you have to build. It's up to you. Pretty straightforward, though. So Wasteland Workshop, I am working on this one. The 5 tamed creatures, I have the thing built that is required to do this. It's like a signal beta wave emitter or something, but it requires you to have a charisma of 9 and take the perk that you can get at charisma level 9 to be able to build it. But once you have that built, this one's pretty straightforward. I just need to finish, actually building enough cages. Starting a spectated arena fight. This one's really, really finicky and buggy, and different people have different solutions for it. I don't think it's going to be terrible because I can just save before trying anything in case it screws up, and that way I won't have to worry about like settlement likeness going down or anything like that. And then building every cage type. I've built maybe a third or maybe less than half of them, though. I think it's less than half of them. So still got a ways to go on this, but a lot of them just need Brahmin meat. So if I get some Brahmin meat, I should be able to build pretty much all the remaining cages from the small and medium category. Then we have Far Harbor. Haven't started this one at all yet. You got 5 story-related trophies, though apparently at least one of them is missable depending on what choices you make. I guess it must be this one then. And then you have your collectibles, of which there's maybe like 5 of the magazines. It's not too many of them. The sea creatures is easy enough. The locations is easy enough. Nothing to worry about with those 2. The locations are apparently, or the workshop locations are apparently missable if you do certain things wrong during the story. And then cooking a new recipe is simple enough. Then Contraptions Workshop is completed, so this one was probably the easiest out of the 6 DLCs for this game. So for this one, you simply have to build a pillory and then assign anyone to it. It doesn't matter if they actually ever go to the pillory, as I have told Preston to do at least half a dozen times, but he constantly refuses. So that's all you have to do for that one. Then for this one, you just have to build a weapon rack, an armor rack, and a power armor station. And you just have to put something in each of those. You can take them out afterward. Straightforward, very simple, nothing to worry about with that. And then producing 100 objects. This one can take a little while just because the whole building production system is not the most well-explained system in video games, that's for sure. But it's actually fairly easy. You can just make either steel balls or plastic pumpkins as long as you have a lot of steel and or plastic. You just put all of that material into the builder, the stuff will come out, and you'll eventually get to 100. It only seems to count, though, while you're in the settlement, so you do have to sit around for about 20 minutes or so to be able to do that. Nothing to worry about with it. It's easy enough. It is the easiest of the 6 DLCs. It just requires you to have enough materials to do everything. Vault Tech Workshop, you have a trophy for beating the sort of mini story of the DLC. You have to unlock all the build areas, which I think is just like breaking through things and finishing the story. And then this is one of the earlier trophies you get in it. You basically just have to equip those 2 items onto a settler that you send to Vault 88 in order to do certain potentially immoral things, experiments to them. You know how Vault Tech is. So then, of course, we have Nuka World. This is the one that I'm really not looking forward to, as I've talked about before. I mean, the quests are easy enough. The scab magazines are easy. Creating the different flavors of Nuka-Cola, though, is a bit more of a problem because they're not the easiest to make because you have to find all of the different recipe books for them, and sometimes they can glitch out and disappear from the game, which is wonderful. And then establishing 8 raider camps in the Commonwealth means screwing up your reputation with the Minutemen, which is potentially good or bad. I mean, I'm doing a Brotherhood of Steel playthrough, so it doesn't affect me that much compared to how it did on PS4, where I was siding with the Minutemen. Then this one is really annoying and possibly buggy because only certain things seem to actually work for it. The 100,000 tickets, there's an easier way to do this than the way I did it back in the day. You can basically just play the basketball game over and over again and just like dunk the ball by waving your head up and down. And then you have several story-related trophies just for beating that DLC. So yeah, that's our Fallout 4 progress. It's coming along reasonably well, but of course still have quite a few DLCs to go, and still quite a bit of the main story left to do, so I don't know how many parts this whole series is going to end up taking, but it's probably going to be over 20 streams. But it's okay, because those streams are doing reasonably well, and they've been pretty fun overall, so I'm looking forward to more of that. The other game I worked on this week was Truberbrook. Now, this is a point-and-click adventure game. It has been quite a while since I have done a true point-and-click adventure game. Yes, I know I've done some Artifacts Mundi games, but this is like a true traditional point-and-click game where you can move around some, but it's a lot of just clicking on various things in certain ways. It's a pretty easy platinum trophy, and it can be done in about 3 hours if you're following a guide and using backup saves. So far, I finished the prologue in chapters 1 and 2. These next few trophies are all for completing the game. Yeah, so all of these trophies through here are simply for completing the game. So it's chapter 3, and then chapter 4, and then 2 other trophies, I guess, for different endings or something like that. Then you have to get all of the dictaphone entries. That is some kind of voice recorder that is from before my time. But every trophy through here will be unlocked by doing all of those entries. There are 35 total, and the game does kind of keep track of them, so that's at least a little bit nicer because you can just hit your inventory button and see how many you've done. And then we start getting into all the miscellaneous trophies. So I'm currently following the guide on PlayStationTrophies.org, and it has been perfect so far, so I would just recommend following that one. So this is a trophy that you get at the very end of Chapter 1. Then the newspapers, I am working on this. I've completed 2 of the 4, so I think it's maybe just like 1 per chapter or something, probably. Then this is presumably a trophy that we'll get later on. It might be a story-related trophy. I don't know how many are story-related, though. This one you get during Chapter 1. This one you get during Chapter 1. This one you get during Chapter 1. For these listening to character stories, you have to hear everything they have to say, and then you still have to hit the goodbye button or the bye button at the end of it, or else it won't always count, which is kind of weird. I don't know exactly why that is, but it is how this game works. I mean, the other thing about this game is that the controls are a little bit different by point-and-click standards. You use the left stick to move around and the right stick to point at things, but all interactions are handled through the D-pad, which is a little bit weird, so I can't think of another point-and-click that necessarily did it that way. It's definitely a little bit different. But yeah, listen to all the stories. All the ones so far have been in chapters 1 and 2, and then there are a few other stories that we have to listen to throughout the game. It might all be other stories at this point, because this is one of those games where every single trophy is a hidden trophy. So this is something different, so that is not I don't think that's a necessarily story-related trophy or anything like that, or a listening to a character type of trophy. So this one must be done later on in the game. Again, I'm not entirely sure. I've only played the first 2 chapters plus the prologue so far. I think this one's easy as long as you know what the code is for it, because I think we're going to get a code for it later on. Then I don't know what that is, I guess it's from talking to a certain character enough times. And apparently this one is like button mashing related a little bit later on in like chapter 3 or 4. But either way, it's been a decent enough point and click so far. It's kind of nice to play something a little bit different for once. I mean, nothing much to worry about it as long as you're following a trophy guide. Just, you know, be careful with it because the controls are a little bit different from some of the other ones. But if you just follow a guide, it's like a 3 to 4 hour platinum trophy with some backup saves, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So let's go ahead and sync up. Alright, level 863, 83%, 28,089 total trophies, 801 platinums, 5,314 golds, 7,523 silvers, 14,451 bronzes. So, plans for the upcoming week. Well, I would think that it's probably pretty obvious at this point, but we're going to keep working on some more Fallout 4, keep streaming it, keep playing through that PS5 version of the game. Now, if I get a chance, I wouldn't mind doing a stream of The Walking Dead this week just to break things up a little bit. And I do want to continue working on Battlefront Classic Collection for the PS4 if I have some free time. Same with Truberbrook, I'll finish that in the next couple of days, so that shouldn't be a problem because it's not a particularly long game. So those are really the main objectives in terms of playing games for this week because nothing else major is releasing this week. But next week is much bigger because we get the Paper Mario 2 remake, which I cannot wait for and definitely will be playing on day one. Probably streaming the first day or two of it. I know it's not a thing that my channel is used to seeing, but it's something that I think should definitely get to be streamed a couple of times because I absolutely love the game. It's one of my all-time favorite RPGs, and I can't wait to play it again as an adult who actually understands how to play video games, because I got a few stories as to how I played that game as a children, and they don't necessarily end well, but definitely looking forward to that, but that's a couple weeks out. In terms of other videos, the Bugsnax video is about 1/3 of the way done, edited, everything, with the script and everything. And then, along with that, I'm also working on the Fallout Ohio video. It's about 80% done in terms of script writing, then I just have to record it and just add in a few images and put some background stuff in. But I'm enjoying that one so far. It was actually a bit surprising to me to see a couple of things about the state that I spent a year in and wasn't necessarily the best year of my life. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And then I've started writing the script for the next one after that as well. So those are all the pretty much current video plans, along with just streaming some more Fallout 4 this week, and hopefully getting a stream into The Walking Dead just to break things up a little bit and get trophies for a different game that's just been sitting there for a while. So yeah, that is going to be about it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, made it all the way to the end, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and ringing the bell if you haven't done that already. If you enjoy what you see here, let me know down in the comments what you guys have been working on this past week. And yeah, this week should be a little bit more normal. Should be able to stream Fallout 4 and or The Walking Dead like 3 to 4 times this week. And yeah, that's the current plan. Probably starting back to streaming on Wednesday. So something like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday would be the current goal. But I guess we'll have to see. But there shouldn't be any other major distractions for a while in terms of like family visiting or anything like that. And all the wedding stuff is completely out of the way now. So shouldn't be too many distractions, though I am currently in the process of applying for hopefully getting a better job, so we will see if that interferes at all. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and see y'all later this week for some more trophy content.